It's no secret the Clippers definitely want a lot more out of Zubac. And listen to President Lawrence Frank about a month ago speak on, they want to be able to develop him a little bit more. It's no secret they definitely want to. Based upon contracts and everything, we got to see if they actually, end up keeping him in the offseason and everything. But here lately, Zubac spoke himself in regards to his season and, his just his desire wanting more out of, what he's getting with the Clippers in regards to he wants to have a bigger role with the Clippers. And, I definitely agree. I would like to see him have a little bit of a bigger role, but that really attains to him and his progress. That's not really the fact that Ty Lue doesn't trust him, because he also said, that Ty Lue does trust him. He said Ty Lue does, like him and want him out there and want him to excel. But at the same time, Zubac wants a bigger role, but you have to step your game up a little bit more. Now, he also said this is his best season, or probably it is his best season. I think he was averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds, 8.5 rebounds, somewhere in there, this season. And honestly, that so far, that is, his best season, so far in the NBA. Because for his career, he's averaging like 8 points and 6 rebounds. And to me, I like Zubac. I do. I'm a fan of his. I think his upside is really high. I definitely think he's one of those big men who can develop into, a lot more than what he is. And a lot of people thought the same thing about him when he was with the Lakers. And the only problem with that is that he's going to have to step his game up more. 10 and now, this going by this past season, 10 and 8 is not going to get you a bigger role. 10 and 8 is not going to get you what you really want or what Zubac is really looking for. And even though Ty Lue trusts him and really likes him and likes his upside and his game and how he plays a little bit of old school basketball and bang down there at times in the paint, it's to me, they're also looking at it like it's not good enough, because his name comes up in trades a lot and things like that, because even though they like him as a player and they see his upside, but it hasn't came yet. Because to me, I feel like, Zubac, 10 and 8 is good numbers, solid for a big man. But for the bigger role that he's talking about, that he really want to have and implement on the game, he's going to need to average somewhere around maybe 14 and 11. I'm going to need maybe 14 and 12, to be honest with you. I mean, he's going to have to average a double-double here going on out in his career if he wants a bigger role with any team. Because, really, his size, his skill set that a lot of people look at and see and his potential, there's no reason why he shouldn't be averaging 14 and 12, 15 and 10. There's really no reason why he shouldn't be. So it's like when you look at, his production, the 10 and 8, that's good. But if he was averaging, let's say 14 and 12, like I said, the Clippers might have won a few more games this season, and not only that, winning a few more games this season might could have put them maybe in contention, even more in contention to win that 6th seed, actually getting into the playoffs instead of getting into the play-in tournament, because maybe they'd be able to rely on him more in regards to what he's able to do. But the problem with Zubac is his development really hasn't got to his peak yet. When you have Lawrence Frank speaking, we want to develop him more and implement him more and, get him right and all this type stuff, that tells you a player's development, that tells you a player hasn't hit their ceiling or their peak yet. And, Zubac has been in the league, I think, since around 2016, somewhere like that. So, with that type of time frame he's had, I'm not saying he should have developed more or quicker, because everybody develops in their own time frame. Everybody works at their own pace. I understand that. But in 6-7 years of basketball play, you need to be averaging a double-double by this time in your career. The development is there, or the development opportunity is there. The team loves you. The team gives you an opportunity to go out there and display what you can do. He hasn't really added to his game, but so much over the years. He's pretty much a solid, basic big man. He does have some good upside to him. He's got good size. He's got a feathery touch around the rim, and he's a decent, rebounder, but he's not a really good rebounder. And that's one thing I feel like a big man like him needs to be able to do. Because even though I've spoken on other big men like Rudy Gobert and people like that. I really don't like, and I don't like Rudy Gobert's game overall. But one thing I can say about players like him, which makes him be more implemented in the offense of Utah and makes him, a defensive player of the year because he has more of the dog mentality. And that's what I feel like Zubac needs. He needs more of that dog mentality in him, not just a feathery touch around the rim and finesse. He needs to go out there and bang with the rest of them. Because even if he didn't score 10 points a game, if he averaged 8 points a game with like 16 rebounds and 3 blocks a game, he would be more dominant for the Clippers. He would be more dominant anywhere he goes, because now you got a big man who's going out there dominating the boards, getting offensive rebounds, doing the little things, the dirty work, and on top of that, he is a rim protector. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you have that in your arsenal all together, you don't really have to score that many points. But when you look at Zubac, he's the type that can actually score, actually kind of sort of, he can be a rim protector as well because he got the size, and he can average more rebounds. And that's the reason why I feel like, he wants more time and wants to be more implemented in the offense, but it's hard to really do that when he's not developing to the player that they want him to. Now, they've been taking chances on him and keeping him all this long time, but only time's going to tell whether they're going to continuously keep him, because, 10 and 8, 10 points and 8 rebounds, they can get that from a lot of centers in the NBA. I mean, it's very few centers in the NBA that can give you 15 and 15, or 17 and 15 or something like that. Those type of centers are, they're out there, but they come far few in between now, because it's a small man's game now. Everybody plays small ball. So really, Zubac is in a bad era in regard to wanting more offense being thrown his way and implemented more in a big role in the offense for the Clippers, because it's not a big man's league, really. You know what I'm saying? And then, some teams actually, shift it, back and forth. But really, Zubac is going to have to develop more into his game to be able to get that bigger role. I mean, he's going to have to be able to step out and hit a 17-footer consistently. He's going to have to be able to bang in the paint more, get more offensive rebounds, and get more dog into his mentality and his game that'll allow him to have a presence in the paint that a lot of other big men fear when he steps on the floor. And nobody fears Zubac when he steps on the floor. Everybody just think he's a nice kid, from overseas, who comes out there, who has game, but it just needs to be polished, and it hasn't fully developed yet. And that's what a lot of other players probably think of him, and as well as a lot of other fans. So, to me, if you want to take that next step, I'm going to need 14 and 12 bare minimum next year. And honestly, if the Clippers had 14 and 12 from him, well, they would be damn near unbeatable, because now you can throw it into your big man, and he's guaranteed to give you a double-double every single night with maybe 1 or 2 blocks. That would take more pressure off Hartenstein to actually go out there and produce as well, even though, he's going to produce at a pretty high level too, because he's just a high energy guy, and he definitely brings that energy and high voltage every time he steps on the floor. And he definitely is a valuable piece for the Clippers, because he'll do all the little things and the dirty work, and he's actually, a decent free throw shooter, for his size and everything as well. So he definitely plays a part also. But Zubac is going to have to definitely step his game up, and I definitely think he's going to have to develop that 17, 18-foot jump shot, and it's going to have to be pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be lethal. It's going to have to be decent. And like I said, 14 and 12 bare minimum. Then he can talk about more of a big role or a bigger, outcome with the Clippers or whoever he's playing with. Because like I said, the offseason really hasn't technically started. So, we'll see if the Clippers even keep him. You know what I'm saying? I believe they will. But like I said, the right opportunity come, they might actually let him go. And then he might have a bigger opportunity depending on which team he goes to. Because hypothetically, let's say he gets traded to a team like the Indiana Pacers. Well, he might have all the opportunity he wants, but it won't be no winning involved. It'll just be a lot of points and a lot of, putting up, nice, shots and putting up points and everything, but it's not equating to winning, and you're not getting anywhere, and you're in a small market. So, that a lot can go in this off season. So we have to see how it pans out with Zubac. But at the same time, like I said, I definitely would like to see him develop and become the player that I think and a lot of people thought, he could be by now. Hopefully he gets it, and hopefully he averages a double-double going forward in his career, because that's what he's going to need to do if he wants more money, more bigger roles and on the offense, on any team he's on, especially the Clippers, because they're trying to win a championship. So they need all they can get out of him, plus others, and they need everybody to step their game up to another level if they want to take the distance and actually go out and win an NBA title. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. As always, check out my other videos if you haven't already. And hey, Khaliis.